Blast from the grassroots, connecting people and sharing ideas.
Hi, this is Arlene and you're listening to Durian ASEAN, the voice of discovery. Today we have a guest. He is all the way from West Papua. He's the founder of Papuan Voices and researcher at Office at Justice and Peace of MSC Congregation. His name is Af Wensi. Welcome to the studio.
Hi, Arlene. Thank you for time for me talking on our story and our situation in West Papua.
Mm-hmm. So West Papua, or in Indonesia, it is famously known as Irian Jaya. It is a place that is the most eastern part of Indonesia, and is also as a part of Papua. That is also directly next to Papua New Guinea. So West Papua has been part of Indonesia for quite some time, but perhaps you can share a bit of the history of how Papua became part of the Indonesia as a whole.
Yes, in 1962, the Netherlands, as Indonesian former colonial power, hence honored West Papua to the United Nations temporary executive authority, atau we call UNTEA. This is the start become the context before West Papua part of Indonesia, and 1963. Indonesian government, especially former President Sukarno, they lobby at the international level for the things. Sukarno thinks West Papua is also part of Indonesia. Long time ago, when Indonesia get independent from Dutch colonize, so Indonesian government make lobby. With at the international level, especially support by U.S. government and in the United Nations. So 1963, we have in West Papua we have an agreement. We call the New York Agreement. The New York Agreement is the administration of West Papua is transferred from UNTEA to the Unitary Republic of Indonesia under the condition that the government conduct a referendum involving the Indonesian Papuans, Indonesian population in West Papua. Mm-hmm. But Sukarno, 1966, when Sukarno, Sukarno, this political situation in Indonesia, and then Suharto become to president under Sukarno. And then Suharto make agreement with U.S.-based mining company we called Freeport-McMoRan for establish its gold and copper mine in Timika, West Papua. So this is when the Freeport-McMoRan have agreement with Indonesian government 1967. So this is more difficult situation for Papuan people get set up referendum in West Papua. And 1969, when the referendum coming, we call Act of Free Choice. 1,026 uh, uh, selected Papuan chief for vote for annexation to Indonesia under threat and under threat and like Indonesian military intimidate and also the try to make some torture for Papuan chief. So in the all Papuan didn't say free for make choice for independent or part of Indonesia. So this is the serious also serious case for freedom of expression and opinion in West Papua. 1969. Yeah, and until referendum, the Papuan make choice under threatened by especially in the Indonesian military. So they choose part of Indonesia.
Since 10 years after Indonesia has achieved democracy from Suharto, has anything changed at all?
In Indonesia, anything changed. We have Indonesia, we have a reformation now, but especially in West Papua, we have a special autonomy. We have special autonomy.
Since when the special autonomy?
Special autonomy since 2001. 2001, we have a special autonomy in West Papua. But when the Indonesian government launched special autonomy in West Papua in 2001, also in 2001, our leader is his name is Teis Iyo Eliwai, also killed by Indonesian Army Special Forces, we call Kopassus, in 2001. And we think special autonomy is like cake for Papuan people, not for promotion and protect West Papuan people's rights. Why? Because until now, still human rights violation in West Papua still going on. Yeah, and not only political, civil political rights, but also economic, social, and cultural rights. Yeah.
What are the rights of Papuan has been encroached since Indonesia took over West Papua?
When Indonesia take over in West Papua, especially during we have many torture case during military and police operation since 1917 until 2001 before special autonomy. Many cases we have military and police operation, so many cases. And 1977 and 1978, we have a genocide case in the mountain area.
How many people was killed at the time?
Until now, more 800 people killed by military and also police. in my data when I do it research in West Papua. What I just look my data. West Papua genocide. More than 1,000 Papuan people dead in West Papua, and also more than 1,000 Papuan.
More than 10,000.
10,000 Papuan. Dead 10,000.
They were
and
killed.
Killed. And then more than 1,000 Papuan exiled to move to Papua New Guinea for looking for
a better life.
Better life. But
how does Papuan people different from the rest of Indonesia region?
We have really different different.
Different.
Different. We have a really different culture, identity with Indonesian and other Indonesian people. Then Papuan people, no, we are Melanesian people. Then we have 200 more ethnic group in West Papua. So we call Papua is indigenous peoples. Indigenous peoples. So, and then we know we also have different story with history. We have different history with Indonesian, because when Indonesian people get independent from Dutch colony, we not part, or is not a struggle with them for the independence.
So you don't have the colonial history like the rest of Indonesia?
We have.
We have.
We have. Before that, we are colonized by Portuguese.
Portuguese.
Long time ago. Portuguese long time ago, and then and after Portuguese is Dutch, Netherlands. So in Dutch colony, they make in Indonesia we call Hindia Belanda. Yes, in Papua, the Dutch colony give name is Netherlands New Guinea.
I see.
Netherlands New Guinea. So, in West Papua, the Papuan people have a good experience with Dutch colony, because Dutch colony, some Papuan people thinks Dutch colony, they not colonize Papuan people, but the bull Papuan people for promotion and protect Papuan people right. So 1961, Dutch colony want to give independence for Papuan people. So 1 December 1961, first time we raising our flag, the Morning Star flag.
The one with the blue and white stripes, and also a white star. On a red surface. Yes,
it is the first time, and we think this is now we not only in Papua, in this people, but we have nation. We think this is the political perspective. not cultural perspective, but also political perspective. Since uh, first time we raising our Morning Star flag,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So so we think so. We are not Indonesian people. We are Papuan people because we are different nation with Indonesian people, and also we have different country with Indonesian people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Interesting.
this is the context. So when until now, Morning Star flag is like a symbol for struggle,
Mm-hmm.
for also for asking to Indonesian government, Indonesian people, and also another people in the world. Yeah, we are Papuan. We are different from Indonesia. We already have a national flag. We already have like country. We want to independent from Indonesia because we are Papuan, like this. So,
I want to highlight Timor-Leste because it has a similar struggle like West Papua. I mean, it took them quite a while for them to be able to be independent, to have an independent state like today. Are you looking at the same kind of direction as how Timor-Leste is having right now?
yeah, we have different. We have same colonize. We have same colonize with Timor Leste.
Under the
Timor Leste
Portuguese.
before Portuguese, and also now before independent colonized by Indonesia.
Mm-hmm.
And now we some Papuan things also in West Papua. Now we are colonized by Indonesian government also. We have some stem history. So, and also some we also fighting also for some Papuan fighting for independent struggle, independent from in Indonesia. So for Papuan people, the objective is they want to not special autonomy like now, but they want to when we going for next statement our real situation in West Papua, we have feel free for talking, and when we want to make film, we want to take photograph, we have feel free for do that. So one objective is first objective is we want to make feel free in our land.
Mm-hmm.
So why we struggle for independent. So and second is we want to promotion and protect our rights in our land, because from my experience until now Indonesian government didn't true implemented human rights principle in West Papua.
Another area that I want to discuss is about the Free Papua movement, which has become almost a military struggle against the Indonesian government. So what is the update right now regarding on the struggle of this group?
This group, Free Papua movement in West Papua, this all Papuan support the Free West Papuan movement, but sometimes they didn't told or asking at the public area some Papuan, because in West Papua is really military really repressive in West Papua. So but another people, especially young Papuans and students at the university, they still campaign and set up movement in West Papua for Free West Papua. And international level, we have coordinator leader for Free West Papua movement. His name is Benny Wenda. Benny Wenda is a leader of Free West Papua movement. He exiled in UK. So they still they're fighting. They focus Free West Papua movement focus on self-determination, and now came strategy issue on Free West Papua movement campaign is referendum, because we think a referendum is democratic way for promotion and protect human rights or implement human rights principle in West Papua. But Free West Papua movement is a peace movement, is a non-violence movement, not a violence movement like because in West Papua, long time ago we have big group separatists. They use a weapon for fighting, but now the not big as a small group, and also they didn't have power for fighting with Indonesian military, like combat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Will Indonesia move to a much more peaceful manner in treating West Papua with the new president, which is Joko Widodo, inaugurated this week?
Yeah. For my things, I didn't have more hope with Joko Widodo because one first reason is Joko Widodo is not military members, and when Joko Widodo cannot control military in West Papua, this is the Joko Widodo cannot make like a peace process dialogue in West Papua, because in West Papua is really controlled by Indonesian military. So this is the first. And second is Joko Widodo already when they make campaign, they talk already only about the economic approach for West Papua.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. For me, this is not good for Papuan people, because one Papuan people, the problem in West Papua is not economic, it's a political problem in West Papua.
Mm-hmm.
So when the Joko Widodo make a economic approach for West Papua, they will make the new problem for West Papua, or they continue make problem with Papuan people. Like in my village, for example, when the SBY president, they also make economic approach for West Papua. So some company coming and cleaning forests and take land for build a palm oil plantation, like mining, and another company for wood, for timbers, like this. So this is not good for Papuan because
So there's a lot of economic interest, not just for Indonesia, but for other international companies in the Papuan region. How can what's the best way forward to address this? Because Papua is also, the next neighbor to Papua New Guinea, also having probably the same kind of problem as well.
Yeah.
So if you have your own country, would it be the same, or how would the Papuan people address this?
When Indonesia, when some company coming and invest in West Papua, like palm oil plantation, we have human rights violence, especially economic, social, and cultural rights, because especially we have a big problem with land grabbing, we have big problem with identity, right to identity and cultural, and we have we didn't have freedom for protect our rights, because when company coming in our land, also military coming. So military protect company for working in West Papua. So we cannot speak and fighting for our rights in West Papua. This is the situation. And like in my place, now we have big problem with Indonesian government policy, for Indonesian government program. We call Merauke Integrated Food and Energy Estate. This is the program for security food and energy, and national food security and energy in Indonesia. So Indonesian government give permit for 14.7 transnational company is from South Korea, from India, and also from some company coming from Australia and from Europe, for coming for palm oil plantation, for worm, and also for chips. 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 This is for and timbers. So we lost land. We lost not only land. We lost, but when we lost land, we lost identity. We lost culture, and we lost local food. We didn't have. I think now in my place, some people thought we didn't have future. We still live with fear in our land.
So I guess at the end of the day, is the issue of what is happening in your country is very complex. But if you have one message that you want to convey on highlighting the issue of West Papua, what would that be?
If you want to stopping human rights violence in West Papua, and also if you want to protect human being value in West Papua, I think we fighting together on bring West Papua case, and for not for on national level in Indonesia, but in international level, like Human Rights Council, for take attention, because this is because Papuan problem is complex. And second is if in Indonesia country is a democratic country, so if Indonesia want to protect and promotion Papuan people right, please give Indonesian President Jokowi, please give a referendum for Papuan people. So Papuan people now they have a free choice for make choice. They want to independent or they want to part of Indonesia. This is the for my thing. This is the good way for make set up demonstration in Indonesia.
Yeah, that's true.
And also
Exactly
in-
like what happened with Scotland, referendum for Scotland independence.
Yes.
Like letting, in this case, the Papuan people make a choice whether they want to remain with Indonesia or they
Yes.
want to take control of their own country, if there is one.
Yes.
With that,
Yes.
thank you very much, Afwensi, for sharing your views. Thanks for being at Durian ASEAN.
Yeah. Welcome. Thank you.